Welcome to Finding Neutral. I'm Nick.
I'm Mr. Payton.
I'm Charlie.
I think I'd like to talk about on episode 6969.
And today is June
69th.
June 9th, 1969.
What modifications to motorcycles you find particularly stupid? That's what I was going to ask.
Hot take.
And I think the reason is at the time of recording, a video came out from, why am I blanking on his name? He used to be on Yammy Noob. Now he's off on his own.
Spike?
Something like that.
Spurge?
Something like that.
That kind of like chunkier guy with the blonde hair.
Yeah.
Where like Yemi just like fired him on a video with no warning.
Oh, yeah. It's
that guy?
Spike, I think. And
Something like that. I can't remember his exact name. Anywho, that dude, which, I mean, he's kind of a nerdier guy, which I've never really minded that about him. He seems like a nice guy. But his videos, Spite.
That's
not Spike.
Yeah.
Spite. Yeah, Spite with a T, like despite, but Spite. He seems like a nice guy and everything, but honestly, I just haven't really found his videos that entertaining to watch. He still has a following.
No, yeah. He doesn't have very good videos.
It's just, it's just, for me, it's not that entertaining to watch.
Not engaging.
Yeah, he's just not, it's just, his topics are like, I don't find them that interesting. But he just came out with a video at the time of recording here where he took his, I believe it's his Triumph Street Triple. It's got to be a similar year to yours, Travis, 24-ish.
It's either 24 or 25.
Is it red, yellow, or silver?
His is silver.
Yeah, he is the basic bitch model.
The R?
I'd have to look at it more to see if it was the RS, but it could be either. The R doesn't come in silver. I think it only comes in white.
Oh, so the R, it has to be an RS then.
So I think it's an RS.
Yeah.
Well, anyways, he takes his Triumph Street Triple, and the video kind of starts off, the thumbnail, he is holding the original Street Triple headlight and fly screen assembly in his hand, and on the bike that's kind of setting beside him, you can see that he's installed a 7-inch round single headlamp.
What?
In place. And his I kind of watched the first, 10, 15 seconds of the video.
Is he a serial killer?
Where he talks about the front end of that bike. I guess somewhere on the internet it's controversial. People either love it or hate it kind of thing. I've always been indifferent about the looks of the Triumph Street Triple. I think it looks good. Like, I think the new one looks good. I think ones in past,
very bug-eyed,
where they called them the bug eyes. I never thought that they looked bad. I never thought they looked great, but I was just indifferent about it. I didn't really care. Apparently there's a lot of people out there that hate that. And they said like they'd want a single headlight because it's, I guess, the more classic front end. And I've never found a single headlight to be like that particularly good looking. I don't care. But
I think certain bikes with single headlights look good, but it has to be like a bike for that. If it wasn't made with a single headlight, I think it's stupid to put it on it.
I think, well, the problem I have with changing up the front end of a bike like that, the bike was designed cohesively. Like, everything kind of flows with each other. So that front end flows with the tank, flows with the back end. Everything, there's all the same design language there. So if you just, you just remove and paste on a different headlight, it doesn't flow with the rest of the design. So it just kind of looks out of place. And I think that looks silly.
I wouldn't consider that to be like a modification. That's like something in a different extreme category.
Why don't I consider that extreme? Because
changing the headlight on a motorcycle,
changing the headlight on that motorcycle because it's a naked bike is that 7-inch round headlamp that he bought, I'm sure was inexpensive. I bet you he's only got $100
But why?
bucks in it, maybe $200 in it.
Why?
So doing the swap wouldn't be like an extremely expensive swap. It'd only take you an afternoon. So realistically, it's not that big of a modification. But like I'm with you. Why would you do that? It just doesn't like it looked good before, and I guarantee you it hurt the lighting performance because that aftermarket headlamp. There's no way it puts out as good a light.
I'm sure it did. The big problem I have with it, aside from the looks and the ramifications of just changing it for no good reason, but it blocks the ram air that the bike was built and designed for that comes off in between the headlights. Like there's a hole, there's a pocket, and that's where the air for the motor comes in.
Again, the bike's been designed cohesively, so there's a reason they put things in the place they put them, and it's more than just, oh, this looks cool.
Yep. So now it's not going to be able to get good clean air out of the front of the bike. It's going to get weird, turbulent, disturbed air, which probably realistically isn't going to do anything. But it was made that way for a reason, and so like you removed a cool feature of the bike, very few bikes have ram air like that. And he took that off, and that whole bracket situation that holds all that up. So he had to fashion or buy something to replace all that with. And it just looks worse. If he wanted a bike with a single headlight, he should have just bought a Trident.
A Trident.
Like, that bike looks good with a single headlight.
Or an
get the new Trident
SV650.
800.
Or a myriad of other bikes. You buy a Monster. A Monster still
Something
has a
that was
single headlight.
crashed.
I get it if you blow all the plastics off your bike and you just you don't care and you just want to put a headlight on it. Okay, that's fine.
But when you take a brand
But
new bike that wasn't designed like that and do that to it,
He took it. I know what that headlight cost $800, and all the rest of the bracketry he took off was probably another at least $300. So that's like a $1,200 assembly that he's throwing away and putting a $200 headlight on that honestly looks worse.
I mean, that's like me taking a brand new car with LED headlights and it's like, oh no, like let's put sealed beams on it. That sounds like a good idea.
No, let's buy Temu LED bars and put them in my grill and turn the headlights off. That's what that is.
Yeah, I mean, I would say this concept is on the more extreme side of motorcycle modifications.
So, name some other motorcycle modifications that you think are just bizarre, or silly, or stupid.
Well, I feel it's easier to explain what I think would be reasonable, so then we can think about anything outside of that. I mean, I'm not a big believer in it to begin with, but I can think of like tail tidy. That's a very common one that I think is probably a pretty good one. I've done that myself.
What I'll say about a tail tidy is
It's illegal.
no, not from that perspective. Tail tidy is if you get like the actual original brand tail tidy was Evotech, I believe, and those are pretty conservative. So they take like the original, we'll call it whale tail from the bike, the giant fender that they used to have that stuck the plate out like 3 feet behind the bike, and they'll still stick it out behind the bike, but it's pretty conservative, and they only go out, say from the tail light, I'd say at most maybe 6 inches, probably even closer to the tail light than that. And they clean it all up, and they bring all the turn signals, they tighten all that up, so they make that whole fender in the back a lot cleaner. But they don't go too extreme. There's another company called New Rage Cycles that goes extreme with the tail tidy, and usually what they do is they completely remove the fender and whale tail assembly, and they tuck the plate kind of in front of the rear tire, way up underneath the tail section of the bike, to where it's pretty damn illegal.
Well, they have two options because I bought one of them.
And the reason I was getting into that, I think that's a dumb modification, because if your idea is, well, I'm going to hide the plate so, it'd be harder for the cops to see me.
I just don't have one.
Well, but either way, if you don't have one or if you hide the plate to where it's hard to see, you're going to get pulled over more often. You're going to get more attention from the police officer. So if your whole plan is to not have attention from police, then don't try to be shady.
Like, try to blend in.
Try to blend in. In fact, leave the stock fender assembly and you'll look super dorky with giant tall mirrors and stuff. Yeah. You'll draw less attention that way.
Well, let's be real here. We all know who we're talking about. We're talking about the squids.
Talking about John.
Yeah, he would be one. He would be applicable.
Well, so like tail tidy is one that I feel like is a very common, and I've done it and I would consider doing it.
I don't. And my Super Duke has a tail tidy kit on it. Well, it's actually KTM branded. It's out of the Power Parts catalog, but it's similar to the tail tidy in that it just kind of cleans it up and brings the plate closer to the tail light, but it still puts it behind the tail light. Jessica's 890 Duke R has a tail tidy on it. I think hers is actually an Evotech.
I mean, so my BMW, like the tail tidy on that, it has no integrated tail light at all. It's just the two indicators.
The turn signals are the tail lights.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so like I took that off and like the new Rage flavor was like popped up in there. So it looks like an integrated one, and then it like one side blinks versus the other if you want to use an indicator, but mine didn't come with that option from the factory. So no.
I think that looks good though.
No, yeah.
It doesn't look illegal.
Yeah, it doesn't look particularly illegal. It doesn't look like you're trying to hide stuff.
Yeah, no, because I picked the one where the plate stands forward, whereas they had the one where it was like tucked where it would sit up against the tail.
Yeah, your plate's still completely legible. It doesn't look ridiculous. And I'm not 100% sure, but I don't think the U.S. has as strict of rules surrounding the tire coverage like
don't.
Europe does. I think all the bikes are pretty much built
Europe,
to
and
Europe
more
standards.
specifically Asia has like really strict rules on it.
Asia's
United States doesn't have nearly as strict rules on the plate placement, so we can get away with some stuff, but you can't get away with tucking it underneath the tail of your bike and
hiding the plate.
The plate faces the tire, and it's just like from the back of the bike you can't see the plate at all. That's just asking for trouble.
They'll ding you for it not being lit too. You gotta make sure that the lights work on it. And I've had it happen.
Although I will say, if it's not lit, because typically you're riding in the daytime, you will get dinged for that a lot less.
Yeah.
Especially if the plate is in a nice, easy, legible spot.
Yeah. I've not been dinged by the police for it, but I've had an issue where it's the little LED lights that the tail tidy places supply are maybe not as high quality as they could be, and they'll burn out and you don't know it because most of the time you do ride during the day. So got to be careful of that. Just make sure that it actually works every now and then.
So like that's one. I could see people doing exhaust mods for aesthetic purposes.
Yeah, I could too.
In this day and age, are you really getting any performance gains? I would argue probably not.
Not if you're just doing that.
And depends on the bike.
Yeah.
It really depends on the bike. But I will say, I don't mind people doing aesthetic modifications. I'm not going to here to tear down aesthetic modifications, because a lot of modifications are aesthetic. So that's fine if you want to change the look to your liking. But I do question some of it when it gets extreme, like we're talking about with the headlight.
Oh, yeah.
Where you're like removing functionality and design of the bike instead of just like, changing the vinyl wrapping something to change the color of it. Like that's a different thing. Like it's not going to affect the performance of the bike. It's just going to change it to the color you like or whatever. Or maybe you're just tired of the color that you've had for a while and you feel like a change.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because who wants black? Black is terrible.
I like black bikes.
No.
Black goes good with everything.
Well, yeah, says the guy who made a whole blackout scheme.
Who?
You.
I did not. It has orange.
For the 8.9. Well, it doesn't. You can't order that from the factory like that.
All I did was put black wheels on it.
No, you added more black body parts to it.
Yeah, you changed the tail plastics.
I changed the tail plastics,
Yeah.
and then when I put the front fender on, it's the low fender, which is carbon fiber, so it also
Yeah.
blacked it out. But yeah, no, that was intentional. I wanted it all black.
You didn't want to be seen.
I think it looks cooler. It looks like the old SMT.
The orange wheels would have been better though. Just saying.
No, God, no. Yeah, well, so I'm not trying to pick on necessarily aesthetic mods, in like as a generality, like, but certain ones that are for aesthetics, if they're going to hurt performance, they're going to make the bike less comfortable, they're going to just be like not particularly fitting with the bike, then I think that would be kind of strange to do. I kind of question why people would do it.
Now I support stretching and lowering.
I was just gonna say I was against that.
I was being sarcastic. Well, if you're drag racing, then sure.
Yeah, and again,
There's
like
value there.
there is a purpose for the kind of stuff, but if you're doing it for the aesthetic, like stretching and lowering for the aesthetic, it's stupid. It hurts the performance of the motorcycle. Unless
What
you're
if it's already a bad motorcycle though?
Like,
unless
if,
you
what
do
if it's
whatever
a
you want, I don't
what if
care.
it's a Hayabusa?
What about a Grom?
Hayabusas have their place. They have their purpose. One, obviously, they're a great drag racing bike, so I don't mind it when people do drag racing modifications to it. Have at it. That's what the bike's for. I also, if you don't know, the Hayabusa makes a great sport tour, and people modify them to be sport tours. They put like higher rise clip-ons. They put drop pegs on them, and then more comfortable seats. And then they also attach luggage to them, and they go sport touring on them. And I'm perfectly fine with somebody doing that. That's fantastic. But dropping and stretching your 600 or your 250 or your Grom, it just doesn't make sense.
What if it's a Ruckus?
Ruckus I'm fine with, actually, because those things don't have much of a point anyways.
Super Scoot.
But I've recently come around to like not caring if people lower their bikes for the reason that they're short, because I think most people out there, since I've been selling bikes, most people out there just aren't very proficient riders. So I understand why they would feel more comfortable lowering the bike, especially as a newer rider. That would help them. It's a barrier to entry to them, and they want to lower that barrier to entry. So it gets them out riding, and I'm fine with that. Ultimately, I know that lowering a motorcycle is hurting it. It's not mechanically hurting it. It's just changing the geometry and affecting the handling in a negative way. So I don't care for.
But if you're
lowering the
learning, you're not
motorcycle.
using all of that anyways.
You're not using the bike to near its potential. You're not even coming to 10% of its potential when you're learning. So
Yeah, not everybody can be as proficient as Charlie over there.
yeah.
Hey, I worked to be able to have tall motorcycles. So if I had to suffer, everyone else has to suffer too, damn it.
Well, but like Kenzie's bike is lowered, isn't it?
No.
No, not this one.
The Trident is
I thought it was.
Is it? Oh, no, yeah, it is.
because you had to lower
Yeah.
the kickstand.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, we
Yeah.
did do the lowering links on
Yeah, I
it.
thought it was what, an inch or something.
Just under, a little bit, like 3/4 of an inch.
What I
Which
think
like goes
with,
back to your comment, like, you know, she's not out riding every day. She just wants something that's more easy to access for her.
but one thing that I will pick on for lowering is all the guys that come into the shop wanting an adventure bike or a dual sport and then complaining about how tall it is. I'm like, monster trucks are tall too, right? Like if it goes off road, it's got to be jacked up off the ground. That's off road. If you can't accept that, then you don't really want to ride off road. Because I hear it all the time from usually guys that are like 5'7", 5'8". Why do they make them so tall? Because it has to ride over boulders. What do you expect? It's going to be tall. It has 12 inches of suspension travel.
Yeah.
What do you expect? It's going to be freaking high in the air. That's the only way it can be built and have proper off-road performance.
Yep.
So lowering those things is stupid, because why don't you just buy a street bike if you want a bike with a lower seat height?
Because most people that buy those bikes end up just keeping them on the street anyway.
And that's what I'm getting to. Like I sold this guy a 390 Enduro R, and he brought it back in for service. It had like whatever 1,500 miles. I don't remember. It was getting a software update for a recall. That's all he brought it in for service for it, and it had like 1,500 miles on it, and it was as clean as it was when it left the showroom. I'm pretty sure and the tires were all worn down. I'm pretty sure he'd never been off road with it.
Right in the middle.
And like the bike was the hottest dual sport on the market there for a minute. You were first in line to buy it. You had a deposit before it got here, and never even took it off road. It's like, well, then what'd you buy this bike for? You should have bought like one of the Royal Enfields I got sitting over there. You know,
He wanted to do dank nooners up and down Vine Street.
He wanted an orange bike.
well, if he wanted an orange one, I got a Duke sitting there that would have served him very well, and he wouldn't have had to pay top dollar for it. But he had to have what was popular, what everybody was
It's an
talking about.
emotional purchase, Aaron.
I know there's not much logic to it, and people also don't want to face their own ego and realize that they don't need that kind of motorcycle. You know,
Just look at me.
had to have that Beamer, didn't you?
I needed the cruise control.
Well,
Literally.
I know you've always mentioned that if BMW had built a 600,
Oh, 100%.
yeah, that's what you would have bought. They just don't make one, and no one else makes a 600 that has cruise control and has all the niceties that your bike
Well,
has.
and so actually, I had a conversation last Tuesday at work with a coworker who has a CBR 1000. And I'm like, yeah, like I had this Beamer 1000, and yeah, like it's nice, but I would prefer if it was a 600. He completely agreed with me. Like, yeah, like way better.
You're saying that now the new age of what they call super sports, not super bikes. Super bikes are the thousands. Super sports are what used to be 600s.
Well, but I don't like twins.
The new age of super sports, well, the R9's not a twin.
Well, but that's Yamaha, and that's a different story.
But what I would say about those that I like is they're 600 peak horsepower. So they're all around 120.
But it's more accessible, yeah.
But then they have lower end torque and stuff like that. But what I'm getting at is they'll have cruise control. Every last one of them. The R9, like all the KTM that just I got one in the showroom.
The 990.
Yeah, the RCR, and then the Ducati. All of them. They're all coming with cruise control.
So that Bike Life guy didn't come in and buy it yesterday?
No, but a different guy showed up from Louisville that I actually got to talking with him, and he's a fun guy to talk to. I asked him what he's currently riding. He goes, "Well, I got an 890 Adventure R," and I was like, "Oh, okay." And then we were kind of going around the showroom, and he was looking at adventure stuff, so I thought he was an adventure bro. But then he started looking over at the other stuff, and I said, "Well, hey man, I don't know if you're into it, but I just got in the brand new RCR. It's a pretty hot bike." And he walked over and he looked at it, and he asked if he could sit on it and stuff. And then he got to talking, and he goes, he's got an RSV4 at home. He's got a 690 SMC at home. He's got a Ducati. I don't remember what Ducati he said. And then he had a Super Duke. It was a 2018, and he sold it, but he would not mind owning another. But then he made the mistake of sitting on that RCR, and I thought he was going to buy it right there. And he said he was some sort of engineer, so I think he's got the money. But I was honestly surprised he didn't buy that thing
Well, how
right there
much
because
do
he
those
really
run?
liked it. The RCRs,
Yeah.
14.
They're very reasonable.
Yeah, all the whole new crop of super stocks is like the Yamaha's the cheapest. It's 12 and a half. The KTM's 14. The Ducati for the S, the one that you'd want with the Olin suspension.
The Super Sport S or
No, the Panigale
Panigale
V2
V2S?
S. The S is 17, I believe.
Oof.
Yeah,
Well,
the
that's not
Ducati's always
hate-
expensive.
That's not
Yeah.
hateful.
I think the non-S is like 15, but the
What's the
S is 17.
the 660, the Aprilia?
Aprilia, those are cheap. Those are like 11, I want to say.
Oh, okay.
And then
That's
they
a
have
good deal.
they have a higher end model, the factory edition,
It's like
and I think it's like
2000,
12
Yeah,
or so, 12 and a half.
those are very reasonable.
But you wouldn't like that one as much because it's the
more
660 motors a lot less performance.
yeah.
Speaking of performance, did you see the dyno results for the 990?
Yeah, it on 44 or on 44 teeth. Yeah, it did exactly what it should. It was within whatever 10% or 15%. I forget what he said.
Was it above or below?
But well, below its claim is like 130, and it put down like what 115 on the dyno.
115. Yeah.
Yeah, so it lost out whatever like 10-12%, which is what you should lose through a drive line. Like that's
It's expected.
it's expected. So they were like it's right on the nose. So it got exactly what they were thinking it should. So KTM's not juicing the numbers.
Just saying, Triumph, 200 less cc's, still makes the same amount of horsepower.
Extra horsepower, bro. Extra cylinders, more RPM, way less torque.
More RPM.
And it runs on 87.
Do you put 87 in it though?
You damn right I do.
Yeah, if it's designed for it, that's what you should
Hell
run.
yeah. You know how expensive 93 is?
And put 93 in a motor that
I gotta pay for
recommends
tires
87,
for that
you're not
thing.
getting anything.
Yeah, you.
I gotta put tires on that thing.
That's
I can't
why
afford
I love,
that premium
I love
fuel.
now that I've been putting regular in my convertible. That's so economical.
Well, what I hate about your 87 octane motorcycles is they don't take the same fuel as everything else. Like every other motorcycle takes premium, and yours is taking 87. So like whenever I have a gas can, and I have to I'm not going to share fuel with you because your gas can's going to have 87 in it. I'm like,
Well,
what
now
the hell,
hold
man?
on. I feel like I've sidled up to the gas station before, and you filled up my tank, and it hasn't been 87.
If I'm filling somebody else up, I'll buy 93. But if
Well,
I'm
how do you know somebody's going to come up next to you and need the gas though?
well, if I wave you in,
Okay.
Yeah, well, that's usually what happens. Like I'll put my card in and I'll get gas myself, especially like when we're in a big group ride or whatever. And then I'll be like, Travis, come on, and then I'll put it in his tank, and then he gets a tank of premium going through there.
Juice.
But
super juice.
yeah, modifications. Travis, what modifications do you think are kind of well? We were on Nick. We were talking about what modifications you like.
We talked about tail tidies. We talked about exhaust. And I mean, like, I think that other random bits, like I know you do like clutch lever type things, like with the little that goes in the transmission, like the different
that's only on a
arms.
specific bike, and that's to fix
Oh.
that bike's specific issue with the clutch. That's on the LC8C KTM's. Their clutch lever is like a bit too stiff, and the friction zone is a bit too tight. So like it's either on or off. Where when you put this extended clutch lever on, it widens out the friction zone. It makes the friction zone a lot more predictable. It also lessens lever pull, so the lever feels lighter, and it just makes the bike overall easier to ride. So I put the they call it the one finger clutch, but I put it on every LC8C equipped KTM. That's the only time I do clutch mods like that.
That's a performance.
But that's because there's a
change, though.
specific, and you don't have to do it,
No.
but that's a specific mod to a specific engine design, and I wouldn't call it a flaw necessarily. It just doesn't fit my preference.
And like, so things like that, I don't have a problem with any of that stuff. Like frame sliders or, fall protection. I'm good with that.
I
Done
don't
that
like
before.
I don't like stunt style crash cages.
No. I think that's stupid.
Because
Unless you're
they-
doing like actual stunt riding, then like
Yeah,
that's
for stunt
just
riding, it's fine.
pointless.
But
Yeah.
like for a guy that's going out and hitting twisty roads,
race rails are not for you.
they look like they're going to hit the ground. Like you're going to just deck out with
Yeah.
them. And I'm like, dude, that would suck to deck out on some frame rails like that. That's going to lift your tires off the ground. Like that's going to suck.
I think
bad.
you would. I don't know. It'd be interesting to measure that and see, because I know they make them big enough that it won't crush your leg when it goes over. So like the slider will hit the ground and stop the bike from
What I'm talking
going
about
completely over.
is decking out mid corner while you're like
Yeah.
really getting after it.
Yeah, but I'm just saying I wonder if what the geometry really is on that.
Yeah.
Because that's the intent, is that if you drop the bike, it doesn't crush your leg. But how far
Could you lean
could you really
before
go
you get into
before
it?
you get
But
into it?
do you think that anybody that has those is going to be somebody who aggressively is trying to lean a
I've
motorcycle?
I've known a few.
Some of them, yeah.
I've known a
They're-
few that like still like I've even seen some guys that track ride with them,
Oh god.
and I'm like, whoa, god, dude. But and those guys aren't very fast because fast guys couldn't run them. You'd have ground clearance issues. So as far as frame sliders go, I'm fine with frame sliders. I don't suggest running them. Frame sliders are for people who are afraid of dropping their bike in a parking lot. That's what a frame slider's for.
Well, I think that, and then also just like moving things around in your garage.
Yeah, stuff like that. But for actual crashes, a frame slider is not going to save your motorcycle, and in a lot of cases, it's going to cause more damage
Yeah.
than what it protects it
Yeah.
from. Like the frame slider bolts to the frame slider catches a imperfection in the ground as it's sliding down the road, and it bends your frame or breaks it off, and then now your bike's totaled.
Or
Or
it starts to roll.
or it grabs where
Yeah.
like the bike is sliding on the pavement and it transitions to the grass, and the frame slider is a grab point because it's not slick and smooth, and the bike now goes cartwheeling down the grass, and now your bike's totaled because of that. Where
Yep.
if you would have just let it slide, yeah, you would have roached the plastics and maybe the bar ends, but
Those are
ultimately
replaceable.
it's not that big a deal.
It's not the frame.
So I don't really care for frame sliders. As long as you're over the fear of dropping it in a parking lot
Yeah.
or dropping it in your garage. And in that case, sure, there's still a use for them. They also kind of make a handy highway peg for sticking your legs up on.
If they're on the right
That's
place.
really the only reason I would want to install them.
So, I think that's my list of motorcycle modifications.
that you mostly like.
Yeah.
What are the ones that specifically you dislike?
That I dislike. Just about anything you would do to Jexstar.
Like wheel stickers?
Oh, well, like if you want to do stickers, then why not? Who gives a shit?
The sticker police.
Well, no, you put the stickers on after you crash it to
Well,
cover up the scars.
What specific stereotypical Gixxer stuff do you not like?
Well, I mean, we talked about stretched and lowered. But like, what about the rattle can paint job?
Plastic dip?
I still think that falls in line with like vinyl wrapping and stuff. And it's your bike. Just spray it up, dude. I don't care.
Well, but when it looks bad because you thought
That's-
it was going to be a good idea.
That's their problem.
Yeah. We have seen some pretty decent rattle can paint jobs.
Yeah, Chris
though.
Cobb's rattled paint
Yeah, that
jobs,
last
dude.
one he did with the green.
That one was dope.
Oh, yeah.
I'm so upset he sold that.
I know. I wish that bike would have just got hung on the wall and lived on.
I know. I wish he could do
He's a
that. I wish he
legend.
could have, even if he couldn't have kept the bike, if you'd have just pulled the plastics off and made like a little mural out of the plastics.
I'd like to know how many miles were on that thing. I know it had over 100,000.
Over 100,000.
Yeah. And it had like some absurd amount of engines put in it.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't realize it had multiple engines.
And it had been wrecked bad enough that it might have cracked the frame. I don't remember. Like, this thing's just been through hell and back, and he still rode the hell out of it. It was awesome.
I think I'm definitely going to hit 30,000 miles on Julie this year,
Yeah, probably.
especially if she becomes the work bike.
I think one stereotypical Gixxer modification that stands out to me that I don't like is a windscreen that's colored or blacked out.
Are you hating on my black plastic windscreen on Julie?
Yes. I don't like them because you can't see out of them. So, like, if you're in full tuck racetrack mode, you can't see out of your windshield.
Well, now my argument is the windshield that I have, at least, I don't think you would be behind it if you were in full tuck. It's so shallow.
Yeah, and that's why a lot of guys would go with like a double bubble screen
Yeah,
and stuff like
yeah.
that. But even those, like you'll see Jixer bros running around on the street with a blacked out double bubble, and I'm like, aren't you trying to do highway pools? Like, how do you see out of the thing?
BMW sells one of those. They have like an extra high double bubble that's all black.
Yep.
Yeah, but they ain't doing any tuck and runs with their wrists locked and their ski goggles on. That ain't happening.
So I've never liked the colored screens. I'm happier with the clear screens.
A nice orange one.
No, God no.
Safety orange.
Yeah, and I definitely don't like different color tinted ones. Even if they're see through, I don't like them. I just like a clear one.
Your
Clear one's good.
SMT's blacked out.
Yes, it is.
Doesn't have a blacked out windscreen though.
It's the windscreen's below the dash though,
Yeah.
so it's not like a real.
You're not
windscreen.
looking through it.
Yeah, it's more like a fly screen.
Twat else.
What about you, Travis? What modifications are out there that you think are silly, stupid?
Unnecessarily loud exhausts.
Yeah.
When
Yeah.
you met me, you probably thought my exhaust was unnecessarily
No.
loud.
On which
No.
bike?
On Julie.
No,
No,
that
that
bike
thing's
is
quiet.
Yeah, that thing's quiet.
No, you want to know the specific bike that comes to mind?
Whose is that? Is that Monger's?
Yes. God. It's
Which one of his?
His hypermotard.
the Hypermotard.
I don't know if I've ever seen that one.
It is so annoyingly loud. I don't even know what brand exhaust it is.
I think it's an SC Projects,
Oh my!
but it's like, I'm not kidding, the outlet is like this big on it. And it's like this long,
So Ducati
and
V
then it's
twins,
just straight pipe.
Ducati V twins have their own unique noise that they make, and it doesn't sound like other V twins. Ducatis have their own strange sound, and with this exhaust in particular, it's a very short can and it's a very wide opening. It sounds horrible,
Oh yeah.
and
Gosh,
not only
it's
does
so
is
bad.
not only is the tone of it just gross, it is super loud. If you ride behind him, even like 2, 3, 4 bikes back,
You can hear it.
it's just like drowning out your music. It's so loud.
You remember how loud his Buell was?
Yeah.
It's worse.
Well, now hold on.
'Cause
If
at
we're
least the
talking
Buell
about,
sounded good. It was just loud.
And it was a low tone.
Yeah, very low
This thing
tone.
didn't have like that low of a tone.
No, it
Had good mid-tones when you were really rapping on it.
this is like it sounds like the engine version of somebody who talks with real nasally.
Yeah.
It's just gross.
well, like, let's back up a minute here. Bad modifications. Circa 2024. John's S1000 single R with the Chinesium mid pipe and the Facra at
Yep.
the end. That thing was loud as shit and annoying.
Yep. We're talking about the same thing here. Yep.
Yeah. But do you think Monger's was better or worse?
Worse.
It was
Worse.
it was worse because
The tone of it was
the bike
oh.
doesn't look like it should be loud and bad. Like John's bike, you'd expect it to be loud when you're looking.
well,
Like
maybe
you look
because you
at
just
it.
know it's John's bike too.
Well, but it's like, okay, it's a 4-cylinder. I know what this is going to sound like. But you look at the Ducati and you're like, it should not sound that horrible. And it just, after riding behind that bike for half a day, you're like, get me the F away from this thing. I'm so sick of hearing it because it's like every time you get into a corner, you hear him downshift.
Oh, the downshifts.
And it would pop and crackle like crazy. And you'd think it'd be cool, and it's cool for like 5 minutes, and then it just gets annoying.
But there are some loud exhausts that I've heard that I to this day don't mind hearing. Cheeseman's VFR, it's pretty loud,
But
but God, does it make a
it
good noise?
sounds good.
It's just an unbelievably
And-
good noise.
It doesn't rattle your brain when you're like 4 bikes back.
Yeah, it's not that loud.
Yeah.
So I can live with his. I'm trying to think of who else has a really loud exhaust. Oh, there's this kid at work, Griffin, newer rider, and he has a
He works in
Kawasaki.
the shop, doesn't he?
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
he's one of the mechanics back there. He has a Kawasaki Z650, and it's a newer-ish one. Let's call it 2020s. He put a full Leo Vinci on it, and I was pretty impressed by him
I'm
doing
surprised
that.
they even make that.
It was header and all. I was like, all right, like that's pretty cool. That's a nice exhaust, dude.
It's not a good sounding motor though.
It is a horrible sounding motor. Well, then for some reason, I don't know why, I don't really believe his story. He said that the muffler and mid pipe, the silencer in the mid pipe, just fell off while he was riding.
No,
And I was like,
that's welded together, bud.
well, even if they're slip fit, I'm like, it sounds like you did a
Doesn't
botched
slip
install.
apart. Yeah.
Because I've never had an exhaust just fall off while I'm riding. I think you just did a botched install. Or the other side of it is, I think he did it on purpose because he wanted to remove it because he didn't think it was loud enough.
Yep.
And
So now it's just straight headers to the environment.
no, for the first time he wrote, he wrote it a few days, just straight headers. But now it's not straight headers. He went to AutoZone,
Oh yeah, got him some pipe and some clamps, huh?
some pipe and some clamps,
Oh, man.
with just a turn down coming out of the bottom of the bike.
Oh god.
And this thing, I call it his donkey dick. It is just awful. And it sounds so terrible. And it's extremely loud because that's one of the engines that the 650 Kawasaki
Yeah.
engine just is not a good sounding engine.
Does it bubble?
Oh,
Does it sound like it's blowing
oh my
bubbles?
God. When I'm inside the shop, I'm at the sales tower sitting at my desk.
You can tell when he shows up.
I can hear him enter our parking lot. And our parking lot, do you know how far away that is?
It's probably a quarter mile.
And I'm inside the building. I can hear him come down the road and turn into our parking lot. And then when he leaves at night, same thing. I hear him go all the way to the end of our parking lot because, of course, he revs it to the moon while it's freaking cold.
As you should.
He goes all the way to the end of the parking lot, and then he turns left to leave, and then he goes all the way up Dixie Highway, and I can hear him for a long time as he's leaving. I'm like, God, he needs to fix that exhaust.
Well, side note, there is something about just turning out of work and just letting it rip.
Oh, for sure.
Extremely satisfying. And those guys at the guard shack at GE, I'm like, yeah, I'm going. Bye. This is a public road. You can't stop me now. No 19 mile per hour speed limit anymore.
Yeah. So overly loud exhausts.
Yep. Especially like
Inexcusable.
so that bike in particular, I have a weird. I don't hate the bike and I don't hate Monger at all for it. He bought it that way, and it's just like, yeah, why change it? But it's like almost like PTSD whenever I see that thing. But
Well, I'm glad he's riding the adventure bike now because it's
he
quiet.
loves that thing
'Cause
too.
it's quiet.
Well, and that thing sounds good, and like has a deep, throaty, bassy like.
Yeah, good V12.
Wait, was that one
sound.
yours
Tone
or
to
was
it.
that Bocce's that you
That was
bought?
Bocce's.
Okay. Where did
Yeah.
yours go?
Mine, I traded it in at my dealership.
Oh, okay.
And then it got sold.
Poor suckers.
Not really. The bike was in great shape.
Had like 500 million miles on it.
It did have
It
miles
had
on
a
it.
clean title.
Well, yeah, I mean, it was.
Well, yeah, he washed it before he gave it to him.
I did not actually. It was dirty when I get. They complained about it.
Well, you never claimed. Did you claim the incident when it was like basically brand new?
Yeah,
Oh, so it didn't have a clean title, clean Carfax per se.
yeah, but bikes don't have Carfaxes.
Yeah.
There isn't a system like that for bikes.
Yet
So
Sounds like we
came up with a
Found a
business
winner,
plan.
have to work. on
Carfax
that.
for bikes, bike facts.
bike facts. Loud exhausts. What else besides loud exhausts?
Underglow.
Those are just stupid.
Hold on, my bike had underglow when I bought it.
And did you take them off?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, because
they're
I had
stupid.
to. It was because I had to take off the front end module and I had to cut the wires.
What I hate about them is one, the installs are usually always botched. They're always just like
No, they're always really bad.
horrible. But then two, the systems always drain the batteries. I don't, because they're all cheap China junk, and they all just
Well, they don't want them on a key because they want to be able to park
and turn them on
and
while
turn
they're
them
parked.
on while they're parked and go in to get, Mexican or whatever.
Like, I can't stand the stupid underglows for those reasons. And then the third and final thing is, I don't think they look that cool. Like, it doesn't. I'm not impressed by it. I just think it's kind of goofy looking.
Yeah, it doesn't. I mean, I don't know. You could probably say the same thing about cars, but at least cars are big enough that it kind of like makes sense to have underglow on because like cars are flat on the bottom, so it might kind of make sense to like have that space be lit up aesthetically. But on a bike is narrow and pointy at the bottom. There's like nowhere for like
Well,
light
like I
to
think when I
emit.
got mine, it was like under the front wheel well, and then like up
Like, you have rock
the
lights.
rear tail. That was pretty much the extent of it. But the thing about it was, in order to turn it on, you had to take the whole seat off, which on that bike there's 2 screws that you have to like pop off the mids to get in and unscrew to turn it on. I'm like, are you really gonna do that every time you want to turn this on?
Yeah, it's kind of stupid.
Which maybe that's why actually when it got delivered to my house, the rear seat, the front seat, it flew off in transport. I'm guessing they just had it wedged in.
Yeah, maybe they left the bolts out so
So they could just like pop it off and
easily
Well,
get to it.
they probably had
Yeah.
to disconnect it because they couldn't turn it off at the dealership.
But it was just like one of those little like switches, on and off rocker switch.
And they couldn't figure out how to run that external to the seat.
Nope, I guess not. Like just drill a hole in the plastic up there in the front.
It was.
Just put it on a keyed source.
I used to always see, and I think more of the lighting stuff comes from like the extreme custom crowd, and more so like your, not necessarily just Harley, but chopper builders and stuff like that. You'll see a lot of light up stuff on theirs, and that always reminds me of like dudes that are a little older than Gen X, but maybe not quite as old as a boomer, somewhere in that kind of realm, that has like, he's got white hair and a white goatee, but he spikes his white hair, and he wears definitely affliction shirts and those embroidered jeans that have like crosses on the rear pockets.
Well, yeah, praise the Lord.
That is the gentleman that I see with like those kind of bikes.
Mm-hmm.
That'll have all the silly underglow stuff. The other people I see is the like Jixer Bro kind of person that has the underglows, but they're more like the kind of Jixer Bro that goes to Quaker Steak Bike Night and tries to get people to drag race them on the highway.
We need to hit more Quaker Steak bike nights.
Yeah, this season we're definitely going to go to more of those, and we can kind of vlog or cast from them.
We need to underglow on our scooters then.
I was gonna say, last
I have
summer was
2 underglow
just
kits in
a real
the shop.
bust in the scooter gang. We were out of commission since like, was that June or July?
It was later than that.
No, I
think it
don't
was-
think so.
I think it was September.
No, oh no, we were definitely out of commission way before then.
I don't remember
You
when it
sure?
was.
Oh yeah,
I have to look at the.
I think it was like
Photos.
June.
I don't, because there wasn't much riding season left, which is why I didn't.
Oh no,
that's
there was
why
a
I
lot
didn't
of,
fool with it.
there. I think that it was like the end of spring, because then it was like normal bike season, which is why I was like, well, fuck it, I'm not fixing it. Oh yeah, like it
I
was.
don't know.
I think it was like June
I have to look up the date.
when we had our scoot sit-ins. Double scoot.
Don't
sit-ins.
forget, you need to get yours back together and record it.
If I didn't record taking it apart.
Well, we did the skit here though, taking the motor apart. So
Yeah,
So
it's a lot of effort.
you don't like the loud exhausts, the LEDs. Was there anything else that you can think of that are silly modifications?
I don't care for the stretching and lowering.
I support
But-
truck nuts on motorcycles.
I don't see that a whole lot anymore. And the crowd that goes with and appeals with, we don't really deal with.
Yeah, we don't hang around.
So
them
I don't have
too
to fool
much.
with that.
Do you support dog carriers on motorcycles?
I do. That's a functional modification.
It's an accessibility feature.
You got to have your emotional support, Ollie.
That's right. He's going to need emotional support after the ride.
That's right. Especially when you take him to track day.
Maybe I'll bring Peyton with me.
I'll tell you one thing I hate. This extends more into cars, but it's a problem with bikes too.
Carolina squat.
Jamming the brightest LED lights you can possibly put in the halogen housings.
Yeah, the housing's just not made for that kind of light. It's not
doesn't even
designed for
work
that.
because you actually end up with less light on the road, and then you just blind everybody else. And then they just drive around with their brights on all the time.
Well, theoretically, any type of high intensity discharge light in the past, as part of FMVSS, should be in a projector
style
housing
beam. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
But
nope. They just jam them in the halogen fixtures.
Well, but then you think about now. You look at the latest generation of
I have
vehicles.
LED bulbs inside of my Kia Soul.
They have LEDs
You're part of the problem.
and reflectors.
I'm definitely part of the problem. I got tired of my halogen bulbs freaking blowing out. And LEDs don't blow out as often.
Buy the good ones.
Yeah.
Sylvania Star Extra Visions.
I did.
No, those are the ones that blow out quickly. You got to get the Osram.
I even got Kia bulbs because Kia bulbs were really good there for a while. And they kept blowing out. I got tired of having blown headlights.
Well,
so
it sounds like you have a voltage problem.
Yeah.
Kias blow a lot of bulbs. They're kind of known for it.
It's because they got bad regulators in their alternators.
So they blow bulbs all the time, and I'm like, I got tired of it, so I put LEDs in it, and I was like, there. Now the bulbs never blow. So that was a performance upgrade.
Did you get yellow ones?
No.
You should have gotten yellow ones.
You got to put yellow ones in the fog lights, and then you got to
Does yours have fog lights?
your
It
running
used to.
lights.
Oh.
Until the road debris got kicked up and hit me in the front grill.
Oh.
Well, you just get you a light bar then. That'll solve all your problems.
Yeah, you need a
Exactly.
light bar. Absolutely.
So I tell you, I think mostly in the world of modifying your bike, what I really think is silly, bordering on stupid, is to buy a certain type of motorcycle that's meant for a certain purpose and then modifying it into a way that's going to transition it into being not so good at that purpose that it was designed for in order to make it better for you for some reason.
Yeah,
I'm like,
I agree.
just buy the bike that was meant for your purpose. I get that you like the look of that one, but whatever. If you're going to buy an adventure bike and lower it and make it more of a road bike, buy a road bike. Just do that. It doesn't make sense to buy an adventure bike and ruin its off-road performance because that's literally the reason it exists. If you're going to buy a bike that's great for going around curves and meant to go around curvy racetracks and all that, don't lower it and extend its swing arm because now you've just ruined the purpose of the motorcycle.
Then what are the skids? We cannot be having the squids coming and buying naked bikes, jacking the prices and the insurance rates up.
I hope they do.
They need to keep the Jixters since we don't deal with those.
Well, some of us would like lower insurance rates. So
And
yes,
You
ultimately,
gotta buy naked bikes. You got sport fared bikes. They're killing you.
it's a compromise design from the beginning.
ultimately, I don't care what people do with Harleys because you can modify those to the moon, and you're really not going to hurt the performance of them terribly because they all kind of ride not that great.
Hold on, great modification, fringe.
Fringe, you like
Hell
the fringe?
yeah.
That's for Indians.
What
What kind?
What do you mean?
Feather dot.
Feather. American Indians.
Chief Wahoo?
The Harley Davidson, even the touring bikes, which is probably their best performing motorcycles as far as doing what their intended purpose is, the touring bikes still don't perform that well in the landscape of motorcycles. The Goldwing it exists. It's a platform that's been out there for 50 years. And the Goldwing in every measurable way outperforms any Harley touring bike, period. It also outperforms every Indian touring bike, period. It's
Not
just,
it being the most
it's that
annoying
simple,
person in the group.
but they and I get it. Those bikes still sell because there is an appeal towards the American V twin. I understand why people buy these things. They also buy the heritage. They buy the name. They buy the fitting in with that
the image.
Yeah, the image, that crowd. They everything about it. I understand why they do it, and I understand why Harley markets to that. But I haven't really cared about what you do to modify the thing because it's not really going to hurt its performance because it doesn't have great performance to start with. What I do take that back though. When they take an American V-twin platform, regardless of what platform it is, and they modify the engine to make it faster, and these guys will pump some money into these things. At the Indian dealer where I'm at, I've seen them put like $10,000 in an engine to make enough power that I can outrun it with an SV650. And I'm like, why'd you do that? Like, as much as you spend on that engine, you could have bought a bike that's faster just with the money you spent on the engine. It's just crazy to me that people do that. So I'd say that's the one modification on like a Harley that I'm like, that's silly. But everything else that they do, while I think it's all silly because I think the whole thing's silly, I've never really minded it because I'm like, it's just so far removed from what I'm, what I care about in motorcycling.
Yeah, it doesn't impact you at all.
That I'm
You
like,
don't
whatever,
work
you guys,
with it very
you guys
much.
can do whatever you want on those things. I don't care. But I do see people like, with a bike that is performance, whether it's an actual Gixxer or a Ducati or whatever it is, and they make modifications to it that I know ruin it. And I'm kind of like, you ruined a great bike. Like, that sucks.
It had potential and you took it away.
So I think that's what my main complaint is with modifications on bikes that I think are silly or unnecessary, is just when you kind of ruin something that I know otherwise would have been great.
Yep.
But if it's a bike that I know wouldn't be great, like the Ruckus, it's not a bike. I know that bike won't be great. It can never be great. A factory Ruckus, 49 cc's, doesn't even go past 35 miles an hour. It can never be great. It's not even a good scooter. It doesn't even have storage. It's not a good scooter. Like, if you want a better scooter, you can buy the Metropolitan, which is based on the same platform.
It's a scooter. It's a mobility device.
It's not even a great one of those.
Honda is more than a vehicle company. It's a mobility company.
So
don't make me give you the whole corporate spiel.
I don't even like the Ruckus from the get-go. So whatever. You want to modify that thing, have at it. But, other Honda motorcycles I know are good. And when people butcher them, it kind of sucks.
The real question is, are we ready for the Kawasaki four-legged motorcycle?
What?
You didn't see it?
No.
It looks like a robot horse. Actually, it kind of looks more like a dog that you ride. It has a saddle and you ride it. Oh, yeah.
So is it like a Nikon, but with the same thing on both ends?
It's 4 legs with feet.
Oh, it doesn't have
doesn't
wheels?
have
It doesn't have wheels.
Oh, I missed this one completely.
And you ride it.
And it's going into production. They're going to produce it to sell.
I would one, I don't believe that. I just don't.
It's not April Fool's Day yet.
And even if they did, it's going to be like one of those niche things that like they're going to sell to rich people, And
then it's going to have the resale value of like the Maybach Landaulet
it's
car.
just, but
As long as Fort9 does a video on it, I'll be happy.
if I had the opportunity to test ride one, oh hell yeah.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Oh hell yeah. Like I'm
Do you
riding
think they're going
that
to take it to
thing.
demo day?
It looks so
It's so
stupid.
ridiculous.
It's so stupid.
It's so stupid.
Like, you just want to ride it because it's so stupid. And I'm honestly thinking, like,
It's like a scooter.
how would it ride? Like, could you ride it like off road, like up a mountain?
What would the input be? How do you steer it?
Oh, you like it? I think it has a throttle. I think it had a handlebar with a throttle, and I
Like,
want to say,
does it counter steer or do you direct steer?
I don't know. How do you steer a horse?
My guess is it would be like a four-wheeler.
I don't know.
Be how I would think, but I don't know. It's weird.
It's strange. If you haven't, Travis, if when you edit this thing, you ought to put a picture up of it
I'm putting a picture
because it is just
for sure,
weird.
at least.
Not to be
Hopefully-
confused with the Asimo.
Hopefully, I can find a video of it.
I want to know what Kawasaki engineers were like when they were thinking of this project, and then when they proposed it to whatever executive signed off on it. Like, what was everybody thinking in this whole thing?
It must have been a hell of a vacation day when they put that proposal through. Because
Like, why would they think that? I don't even get where they think like, oh, well, this is going to be like great for engineering to come up with, so we can prove what we're capable of.
It probably was the Friday before Oban, and they're just like, we want to get out of here. Yes.
it's wild.
And on that bombshell, that's it for modifications.
It's the ultimate modification. Legs instead of wheels.